All right, welcome back. Episode 4, Raymo and Momo Show. While you guys were out there Harlem shaking and watching the Grammys, which we didn't get any nominations for the show. You know, I noticed that we got all dressed up for the Grammys, and we were just sitting there. You know, they didn't call our name not once.
We should fade. Maybe they should have faded us to black. We're gonna do some combine news.
Yeah, this is that time of the year where you have that gap between sports and what's going on. So but just like to say, season ended. We're about to get ready to start a new one very soon. Time buzzed so fast.
Football never stops for me, man.
Right, exactly.
That's why I'm thankful for the NFL Network.
Yeah, it's football season and then getting ready for football.
Yeah,
so we're all ready. So
yeah, it's all day, every day.
Right.
It's all process.
Let's do it.
So paying attention to the combine, Momo, I saw some pluses, some minuses, some negatives, and for me, there were several players that stood out in this combine. And not only at the combine, but just the news that you hear coming out from some of these analysts or these experts. A couple guys that I really like. I think Dion Jordan out of Oregon, what is he, 6'5", 6'6", 250, ran in the 4.6s at the combine for the 40 time. Man, I see this guy, man. I really believe Jacksonville at 2. I really believe he's going to go second. I would take him first, if based on what's out here.
That's considering the Chiefs don't trade down with the number one pick.
To me, he has huge upside. Rushing the passer, he's got a quick first step. The kid just looks like he's going to be a great player in the NFL. To me, in my eyes, I think he'll definitely go top 5 for sure. A couple guys, Momo, that I believe that are going to be studs for this draft. I guess you could say my up to this day combine top guys. I've got Dion Jordan, Oregon, Sharif Floyd.
Yeah. Well, he's going to go top. Yeah, he's going to go top. I think he'll go at least 3.
Yeah, Oakland probably would get him. Xavier Rhodes, Florida State cornerback, big kid, ran a great 40 time, 4.42 somewhere in there, 4.4. Big, 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah, you think about it. The NFL is passing league now, so you need these corners. I mean, these hybrid corners which are big and corners that you can play in the slot. Yeah. Multiple positions.
Yeah. Yeah. Safety on some defense if they're sharp enough. The whole Rod Woodson. I mean, not Rod Woodson, but the whole Charles Woodson. Type of a cornerback you can move him all over the field. I like the tackle out of Oklahoma, Lane Johnson.
Yeah. I mean,
he's going to be a great pro.
Every year they're getting as Mike Mayhawk said, bigger, faster, stronger, athletic.
Man,
the guys.
It amazing, man.
And that was the thing about this combine. It wasn't just like the big boys just to see. I mean, they're running.
I mean, they look good though.
Yeah,
they're not like Nate Newton looking.
Right. Or Fridge.
They're not looking like that. They're in shape.
Everybody is coming. I think these players are just. They're coming ready. I
think they're taking it more serious now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we see the commercials on TV. When it comes to the combine, I've been seeing these commercials. What do you need to know for your job interview? And they're approaching the combine and all of this process as a job interview. Right.
So it's not just focused on their pro day. It's like you want to have a good day at the combine and not have to take the pressure over on your team's pro day because you didn't perform well.
Yeah.
On that.
I think it's good though. They need to take it serious because it is a job interview. It's like a job fair. Yeah, if you will. Now I got some negatives with the combine. Man, some guys really disappointed. Your boy Catfish Teo, man, 4.8s. Come on, man. I mean, look now what he ran in the 4.8s. He looked stiff in his linebacker drills. And then he said afterwards, that he blamed it on being tired, fatigued. What about the other guys?
You don't think they're tired? This actually, and it sounds bad, may work in his favor just because he's going to drop down to probably go to a good team. Now, if the good team still even wants to take him, even if he goes in the first round, if you guys remember a couple shows back, I said that he wasn't going to go in the first round.
Yeah, I saw some mocks where they project him in the second round.
Right.
Yeah. Surprised me actually.
Now, with that, it just. this was his one chance to even silence the critics. You know, we all have our own issues. We all have our things. It was unfortunate you got in it. You know, case and let it be over. But I mean, that performance was atrocious.
Yeah.
You know,
he definitely raised some alarms. Definite red flags.
Now, do you think maybe it's just the mental thing has finally?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know, you know you're going to the combine.
Yeah. And he had
right.
time and
it doesn't matter, man. You can't use it as an excuse. I mean, you're ready. You're supposed to be ready. Like it's a job interview.
Right. And he wasn't prepared.
Right.
Right.
You know. So another guy I don't think that prepared himself. DeMonte Moore, Texas A&M, supposed linebacker, hybrid defensive end, 6'5", 6'6", 250. A lot of people before the combine were projecting this kid to go second. Man, he ran a 4.9.
Yeah.
Huh? As a defensive end, 12 bench presses at 250 week. Unless he just blows it away at his pro day, there's no reason why he should be a top 15 pick in my eyes.
Right.
There's just no way. You can't be. Look, I'll compare him to Deion Jordan. Same size, same stature guys. Jordan ran in the 4.6s. I think he pressed over 20-something. Just looked like the better guy.
Right.
DeMonte Moore just didn't look like he was prepared. Again, just didn't look like he took it serious. Maybe he was out all night the night before. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but you can't go to the combine as a supposed speed rush defensive end and run into 4.9s. No.
Yeah, and you get 2 opportunities. No. You know, so even if
Come on, man. Yeah, I mean that was horrible. That was atrocious. That was ludicrous, as Mike Tyson loved to say. I think Jonathan Banks out of Mississippi State didn't do himself any justice. Runs in the mid 4.6s. Arla Tulele, I know the heart, but you know I actually think he'll be a top 5 guy.
I don't.
Well, it depends on if he's healthy.
Yeah, unless we hear something in the coming weeks that you know, there was a player I believe on the. I want to say maybe the Tennessee might have been. Oh, he had the same type of head or heart issue. He came back and then played just like well, but with that it's if you make that move with the top 5 pick and it's going to take him longer to come back because they say he's the closest to Haloti, you know, and having.
But if they find out that it's wrong,
well, then of course, yes,
that's right. What I'm
yes,
saying. Of
course. I mean, he has the athletic prowess to come back, but as of right now, until we don't find out anything,
they have time. I mean, it's early March.
But what do you do about that? You know, what do you?
They'll test them several times. They'll check them out. Every team will know a medical report with this guy. They're gonna know. We're gonna know in the next couple of weeks. I promise you. We're gonna know.
Whether he had it when he was playing in school, did he play through it? Is it going to be any type of further issues?
Right, so we're going to know. They're not going to...
Now, any other injury, right now, I would say, you know, whether it's shoulder, whether it's foot back or anything, even I would say that he would still go. But until we find out, yes. He's definitely not going to drop out the first round.
No, not even... Well, like I said, if the tests come back to where it's not harmful, he will be a top 10 pick. I believe he'll be a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Because the kid's got great size, great feet, great motor, they say. So why would he slide if he's now okay?
Right.
There's no need for him to slide. You know, he's going to do well at his pro day. We know that.
Right.
If he's eligible to perform at his pro day, he's going to do well at his pro day because he didn't perform at the combine. So the only body of work you're going to have, which always usually slights the player at their facilities, will be at his pro day. So... he's going to have a great pro day. He's going to pump iron. He's going to lift the weights real well because he's a big kid. So that's why I say he will be a top 5 pick, depending on how the draft flows. I think Kansas City would take him at 1. It wouldn't be like if he's healthy, why not take him?
Yeah, I had him at 2 going.
Jacksonville.
Yes, to Jacksonville.
Oakland.
So at least
I mean, that's what I'm saying. If he's healthy, why not take him? You need a difference maker up the middle. You need a guy that you feel like is going to be there for 10 years. If they believe he's something like Haloti Ngata, then
maybe even a team like Philly, you know, where they're just trying to revamp their whole defense, where they need
help up there.
They couldn't seem to make any type of tackles and anything.
They cut Cullen Jenkins.
And the problem with Philly is everybody was paid, so there was no issue of contracts or this.
I mean, they may go
person, you know, and they
I mean, but I think Oregon Kelly will choose if Jordan is there, Deion Jordan. I think he'll take his guy. What do you think about the Redskins' needs coming up?
Well, the obvious is secondary, you know, and based on needs, I mean, I don't think that the Redskins, as far as free agency, is not going to be their winner on this one, just because of I mean now think about it. It was originally $36 million.
John Mayer, you
sound
bitch.
And I mean, you know, it was nice to see him not, you know, when they had the lead of the division, we came back and beat him. But anyway, that was in the past.
Yeah.
Like I said, they've broken it up. So last year was $18 million, but they were still able to do things. I doubted that they were able to bring in. They still brought in Pierre Garçon. They still brought in Morgan. You know, two
Jackson,
potent members of the offense and defense, and still been able to do it. So I trusted Bruce Allen to still be able to get it done. You know, this is after this the $18 million cap hit that they have to deal with. You know, so it's only can get better from here on out.
And we only have to give up one more first-round pick next year.
So yeah, and it was worth it. You know, so you know when you don't hear about the general manager, in a sense, that means he's
doing his job.
He's doing his job. You know, so
Vinny Serrato.
Right. So a lot of people like to blame, like to say, oh, the Redskins were always, you know, free agents. They always went to spend and get these guys and these guys. And that's not actually true because the past 3 years, you know what, they have 42 different players.
The roster has been overhauled.
Over 53.
Yes.
So I mean, that's been on the team for less than 3 years. So it's a brand new team. It's not your daddy's Redskins.
It's gotten younger. It's gotten more athletic. It's gotten faster and smarter.
Yeah.
The average age is probably 3-4 years ago when we had Clinton Portis and all those cats.
They were the oldest offensive line.
31, 32 years old. Now our average age is around 26, 27. That's what you want to be. You want to be able to compete against the other NFL teams, young teams, athletic teams that are built the right way. If I were Bruce Allen, and Redskins fans are probably not going to be on board with this, but I would trade the 51st, that 51 pick.
Now, granted, keep in mind there's only 7 picks that we have this year.
I know.
So, and unless you're just giving him credit for what he's done previously, and they already have a plan, they're going to trade this pick and acquire it.
Well, I'm assuming, we've had these discussions, I'm assuming that the Redskins at 51, second round pick, the 21st pick in the second round, it's pick 51. I'm assuming they have a player on their radar. They probably have 2 or 3 players.
Yeah, several. Yes.
So if they have that in mind, then if that player isn't there at 51, I would trade down only to a couple of teams, high 3rd, 4th round picks. I would require a high 3rd and a high 4th round pick. Maybe Jacksonville. Jacksonville has the 2nd pick in the 3rd round. They have the 1st pick in the 1st round. Perfect opportunity. You get 2 high quality position players in the draft along with your other 3rd and 4th round picks and your 2 5th round picks. So you get 2 3rds, 2 4ths, 2 5ths, a 6th and a 7th. The 3rd, yeah, you move down from 51 to around, you move down about 13, 14 spots. The 2nd pick of the 3rd round, you can get you a great cornerback, in my mind.
Yeah.
You know, B.W. Webb, Bleedy Ray, Darius Slay, who we got? Brandon Williams. You got a whole bunch of corners that are quality corners out there. I got my list here.
Robert Alford.
You know, you got a lot of quality corners out there.
Safety, you know what I'm saying? So these guys, I mean, I think that Shanahan and Haslett are looking for guys that can play multiple positions.
I don't think the Redskins need much, and fans out there are probably going to be wondering if I'm smoking crack. No, I just say no to drugs. But we don't need much. We can't do much in the free agency anyway. I think we can make.
They're tied, and that may be a benefit to them. You know, just take care of the guys that you have on the team. They have.
Do you keep Rob Jackson?
Of course, hands down. And you were talking about players with hips. You know, he is able to, for his size, and
he's just cerebral.
He's cerebral, and he's been on the team, and I think he deserves it. He was on the practice squad before. You know. He was what, a 6th, 7th round draft pick?
He was a 7th
round draft pick. So I mean, that just shows the
came back. You know,
intelligence, and he wants to be here, and then you can get him for pretty cheap.
You can get him on the cheap for sure. Yeah, he ain't gonna be.
Sorry, Rob, I'm not trying to downgrade how much you make or how much you should make, but I just
think you get this contract, then the next one you might get that check. This is what I say we do. I say you restructure Santana Moss, D'Angelo Hall, Cofield, Bowen, Adam Carricker, Montgomery, and I'm missing somebody. Josh Morgan. And you restructure those 8 guys' deals, man. You probably save $20 million because that's what's projected.
Yeah, they'll be under the cap. Right now they're
well under the cap.
Right. Right now they're $3 million over.
So if you can do
even with the cap being raised to $123 million,
you restructure those 8. Oh, and Trent Williams 9. You restructure those 9 guys' contracts right there. And just flat out cut Josh Wilson.
So you're not restructuring
the hell no. There's 2 corners free agency that I would love to have. The Greg Toller kid out of Arizona, number 28, and I love Keenan Lewis, Pittsburgh, number 23. If we can get one of those guys as a free agent, they're not going to command major.
Right, these are going to be the guys that the Redskins are going to afford. They're not going to be able to trade for Revis. They're not going to go
$15 million a year.
But they're not going to be able to go out and get the normal bigger marquee players. They're not going to get a Mike Wallace out in this as far as you know. So it's just. I mean, these guys have clearly stated.
We got to get the second tier guys, if you will. So second tier, young, 26, 27-year-old guys. I say sign a safety.
Right.
A free agent safety. Sign. Who they got out there? Man, I would love Ed Reed to come and watch. Did I say that out loud? He can stay home.
Right.
Find a free agent safety and find a free agent tackle.
Yeah.
3 free agents. Restructure those 9 deals. Bring back Rob Jackson, Daryl Young, Paulson, Fred Davis. Yes, bring them back. Bring back Columbus. I think that's it.
I mean, that's basically it as far as.
And maybe we lose Lorenzo Alexander. Right. So we're going to do some NCAA basketball conversation. This is our first time talking about basketball?
Well, college basketball, yeah.
What do you think? How you see it going, man? I mean, there's been some action.
It's fun. I mean, normally, you know, most fans usually wait till March Madness to for it to get on, you know, and the conference games haven't even started. Okay.
Nope, not tournaments yet. Next couple weeks.
But you know, there is no, even in number 1, it's kind of like, hey, don't put me number 1 team. I don't want to bet it because this Thursday I could lose and, you know, I'll move out.
Well, I think Gonzaga will hold on to it until they lose in the tournament because there's no one going to beat them in their conference. I don't think so. So
they kind of need it to continue to be number 1 just to. I mean, it's hard, you know, because I mean, think about it. Kentucky, right?
Yeah, Kentucky.
You know, just all these freshmen and just thinking how good they've been the past couple of years. I mean, they're would you consider them a bubble team or would you consider them NIT?
Well, they're definitely NIT bound, but I don't even think they're a bubble team, Marcus. I really think they're done. They're not making it to the NCAA tournament. They're not defending the crown this year. It's unbelievable what's happened to them. I know the injury to their freshman center, Nerlens Noel, was effective, but they're supposed to be a deep team.
Maybe they're not getting paid anymore. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, one done. You know, there's no way that I don't think they got to be, man.
I just think, and I've often thought this about basketball. I just think it takes juniors and seniors to get tired of letting freshmen beat them. Bottom line, Miami University, the Hurricanes this year, their team is junior, senior oriented. Right. Yeah, their point guard is a freshman, but everybody else in that team basically has been there for 3 years.
Yeah, you got to give Larry Negro credit. I mean, what he did with George Mason and going down to Miami. I mean, thinking about them in basketball, no. You think about them when it comes to college football, but
I mean, but they got great leadership.
Yeah,
you know, they got guys that's been there 3-4 years, and like I said, they're 22, 23. They're not going to let 18, 19-year-olds play. But come on, man, it becomes a man versus man thing.
Right.
You know, they're not going to let that happen. Or a man versus boy thing.
Right. Now, speaking about Miami, do you think they should deserve a number 1 seat?
No, they just lost again last night. No, they're not getting the 1 seat.
So you get Gonzaga a 1 seat.
Yep. Kansas unless they lose.
Right.
Duke.
Maybe Florida.
No.
What about Georgetown?
Nope, they just lost. Unless they win the Big East tournament, and I believe Duke's gonna lose this Saturday anyway, to the Heels. But unless that happens, unless Georgetown wins out, and Duke slips up and does not win the ACC tournament, then I think Georgetown will.
So Indiana is the
Indiana
is the Final Four.
Yeah, Indiana's the fourth one. Yeah. Right now, I mean, they could lose. Don't they play Michigan coming up? I mean, they could lose in the Big Ten tournament or whatever they call that tournament up there. But so it depends. Indiana looks good, but they seem to struggle for some reason. They're not. This is a wide open NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, the bracket. Whoever gets a good bracket on this one, please, or you have some ideas, call me. Let me know.
Yeah, this is a wide open one. I mean, you've got Gonzaga that's going to be a 1 seed. This is the first time they've ever been ranked number 1. A couple weeks ago, they were ranked number 2. That was their highest ever. I mean, you've got Kentucky that won't make it. You've got senior-oriented veteran Miami team that's running roughshod. Well, that was running roughshod over the ACC. You've got the Michigan State, Michigan. Teams out west, UCLA, USC, no. UCLA, I don't believe they're going anywhere. Arizona was ranked high at one point. You got the teams out in the Big East. Georgetown, Villanova beat them the other night. They may sneak in.
Syracuse
has fallen off, actually.
They played. I think they played tonight.
They played. So Georgetown needs to win that game.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Georgetown has to win out in order to get a 1 seed. That's the only way, especially with them just losing.
Right.
They have to win out, and they will get a 1 seed. But it's wide open NCAA tournament this time. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting for me filling out my bracket.
I mean,
I think it's going to be a lot of upsets, quote unquote upsets. I don't know if it's going to be a 16 beating a 1 seed.
Right.
But I think there will be some interesting 8-seeded teams, some interested 11-seeded teams, some interested 12-seeded teams. So it's going to be an interesting seeding. I think it's going to be some really good upsets. That's what I don't know what's going to happen. So we're going to see Duke's looking good with Ryan Kelly coming back now.
But so, I don't see Duke going for. I mean,
I can't see
just
Duke.
because.
That's just me.
I mean, that's just the culture. You just got to be physical.
It's not just a culture. I'm just a Tar Heel fan.
Well, I'm just saying.
I can't say that.
Well, I mean, their team has always been. You just put some bodies on them and rough them up, then.
A little soft.
Exactly.
Usually not physical.
Right.
But Kelly helps him stretch the field, the floor, because he's a big man that can shoot threes.
7'1"?
I don't know if he's that big, but I just know with him and Plumlee in there together, they make it harder for defenses to guard just the inside because of Kelly's shooting from the outside.
Right.
He can stretch. He can bring that power forward or center outside of the lane, and then it helps better for rebounding for Duke. But so I don't know, man. I don't know how he's. I just can't say they'll ever be.
The thing about it is that we don't know. I don't know.
It's gonna be wide open.
It's gonna be wide open. Yeah. So. But yeah, that's good about it. Sometimes you're not just expecting like.
Well, it's definitely gonna be March Madness.
So you're not gonna just expecting like your Dukes, your North. I mean, there's other schools that are in. Anybody can take it now. We'll see what happens, and we'll see what Obama says about when he fills out his bracket. And
that's gonna be interesting to watch his bracket this year to see what he thinks. He's probably feeling like we are, like everybody's feeling.
So, really Obama, if you need some consulting.
Check out the Raymo.
Momo Show. Yeah, we can link you up.
Holla at your boys.
If you want to be a guest in the show, we can bring you on too as well.
We right around the corner.
So come on down. It's getting that time. NBA, it's heating up.
The association.
Yes, so it's getting that time. Like I said, last time we talked about the Lakers, and it seemed like the last time we talked about them that they were not even a chance of making the playoffs, even though they were 4 games, 3 games, going back and forth.
But Utah's losing.
Yeah, and there's potential for them to even move up to the 6th seed.
That's not going to happen.
But
I think the way it goes, Momo, is going to be they will be an 8 seed because I don't think Houston, unless Houston start to have some issues, which I think Houston will finish ahead of them. Golden State is 6. They're not falling off. Then you got Memphis and the Clippers 5-4. And then you got, Denver and the Clippers 5-4. and then you got Memphis is up there.
Oklahoma City,
and San Antonio. So that's what I'm saying.
Even with the injury to Tony
so
Parker.
8 is the spot that they're looking at, and I really think they want 8 the Lakers Day, so they don't have to face Oklahoma City in the first round.
Yeah, because if they do, I'm sorry.
They're getting
swept. They're getting swept.
Right. So they need the 8 spot, and they really want San Antonio, in my estimation, to be the team that they play in the first round.
Right. And
it's
happened to San Antonio. Yeah. They've lost when they had the 1 seed.
You think the Lakers, if it goes 1 Spurs, Lakers 8, you think the Lakers will beat the Spurs?
No way.
No? I think they will.
Even with no, I don't.
I think they will.
Yeah, okay, well, you can think, but I'm telling you that it's not going to happen. And the reason why is because the Lakers have been inconsistent throughout the whole year.
Look, man, if they get in the playoffs the way that they've kind of gone on a little, not a run, but a roll, Dwight Howard still isn't consistently dominant, but maybe he's rounded into form, and I don't believe they're really paying attention to D'Antoni as the coach. I really think Kobe is running things.
Look, regardless, San Antonio has more depth.
Yeah,
you know, and Kobe can score 35, 40, 50 a night, and I'm a huge Kobe Bryant fan.
Yeah.
But I just don't see them beating San Antonio in 7.
Okay.
It's just no.
You gonna owe me an apology on the air?
I'll give it to you. You know,
you gonna listen.
But no, I don't think. You know, that's what they want. It'd be a better matchup for them to play the Spurs. Yes, because I'm not saying they're going to get swept. They could possibly win 2 games, maybe 3. But 7-game series, I just think the Lakers are inconsistent, and I don't think
they have been. Yes,
you know
they have been.
Now, if they get out the first round, then yes, wow, watch out, because that means they finally got together. Whether Dwight and Kobe have said, all right, you know what, we're going to put all of our shit aside, and
I think they're going to be the team no one wants to play. I'm telling you, I believe that. I think in the next 20 games, they're going to reel off some wins. They're going to get to 43, 44 wins
First, they got to make it. All right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, they're going to get to 43, 44 wins, the 8 seed. They're going to play the Spurs, and they're going to beat the Spurs. And it ain't going to be in 7. And it ain't going to be in 7. Yeah, I'm predicting that. I'm saying that. For anyone who's a big Spurs fan out there. I'm predicting if the Lakers play them in the first round, they're going to beat them, and it won't go 7.
What about?
It ain't going to go 7. So that
you're right. I'll give you it's not going to go 7, but the Lakers aren't going to win. So, however you want to slice it. If you want to give them 7, that's disrespectful to the Spurs.
I'm not disrespecting the Spurs. What you think about the Heat? Their streak they got.
Wow, it's amazing. You know, I got to give it to them. I mean, and I've always never been a big LeBron James fan, only just because, you know, the whole decision. And even before that, you know, I was never really just a fan of his. I just expected more of him for someone his size and his talent, and you know, just him.
He's putting all that together now.
Him wanting to be, you know, as they always labeled him, not wanting to be the closer or not having the killer instinct, and then now he's been like, you know, just give me the ball and everybody else get out the way.
I mean, he's just he's become a special player, man.
Right, and then that game against the Knicks, I think that was a good statement game, and still, especially the way that he finished it, steal the ball, dunk, put 2-3 guys on me. It's just no
can't guard LeBron.
Yeah, you can't guard me. And if you want to go tit for tat back with your best player, I'm gonna and his 3-point shooting is improved.
Like I said, he's become almost unguardable.
I'm putting the Heat as a lock to come out the East.
Yeah.
The only team
lock to come out the East.
Well, I mean that's not saying
just step out on that limb, will you?
Or I'm just saying
that's a lock.
Well, I mean, look, okay, Indiana could give them. Don't forget, this is the same Heat team, right? That went last year 7 games with Boston, a banged up Boston team. What happens if you wouldn't be surprised if the Pacers could knock them out?
Yes.
I mean, that's the only team. The Knicks, no, not this year.
Look, there's only one way for everyone out there who needs some insider information on how to beat the Heat. This is how you beat the Heat. You force LeBron to score 30 or more without a triple-double. And the other 4 players have to be also guys. You can't have no other guys dominate like LeBron.
You can't have Wayne get 20 points. You can't have... I mean, Bosh, I wouldn't even put him in the conversation.
But my point is, you let LeBron do his thing, 30 whatever you're gonna get, and then but you don't let him get double digits.
So you say he's gonna get fatigued and just tired because he's doing too much?
No. I just think if you got 4 other, if you just have the other 4 guys, the starters, not dominate, not have 15 points, not have like Chalmers, Haslam. Your role players is my point. If you don't let these role players have big games, like Mike Miller had a couple big games last year in the playoffs.
Bad game, like 4 or 5
you hold those guys in check, and you let LeBron do his thing.
But those guys are open because LeBron's doing his thing.
That's my point. Don't let him get double-digit assists. That's the key.
So you just rough up on him, or what? I mean, what
else you supposed to do? LeBron, I'm gonna be here all day. I'm not going nowhere. When you take a piss and shit, I'm gonna be right there on the toilet with you.
And that's
the only thing. That's the only way you can beat this team. It's the only way.
Yeah,
it's the only way. It's
very impressive.
It's the only way. You have to stop the other players from getting off, and let LeBron get off, but not with the assist.